Hey guys, how's it going? June 11th, 2022. Looks like we have a server again. It's been up for quite a while now. Had a few people on, but not much happening, which is okay. I've been using the time just to basically program some new features, and I thought I'd show them to you. Now I don't have access to my laptop yet. I don't have it set up just yet to the new router. I'm sure it's easy, but I just haven't bothered with it. So if I don't hit the, wow, that isn't much views at the beginning. Usually I hit quite a few views at the beginning, but anyways, whatever. I assume I'm streaming because it says I'm live. But anyways, I'll check the chat once in a while. So, the AEI detection. Now this is something I've been talking about for a little while. I wanted to get some other things into play. Eventually, I just decided, especially when things are, we're becoming behind and more difficult to manage. With the hump, I thought, it's time to get it into play, and at least then that'll, more information's the better. So as I did earlier today, this is my second stream actually. Not much as far as running or anything like this going on. I was on during the day, but as you can see, I've totally wiped out everything with the exception of some of the power that's been sitting around. Now the trains are still running. I haven't had a train come in all day. I've been waiting for it to happen, only because that's when I can start utilizing what I really want to do with this. For now, I'm just reading header data. I mean, yeah, I can do it for all these other places, but really it's for Waycross, although I am checking all AEI detection right now. Well, I don't have it on right now. I have to turn it back on. But I can run it all the time when the server's on. I can log it. I can do whatever I have to do. So if you're wondering what AEI is, some of you might have missed earlier today or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. The AEI system is... Let me see if I can find it. It's a little bit dark right now, so you'll have to forgive all this. But let's see. Okay, now, so it'll be over here somewhere. Of course, it's a little dark, so it's hard to see. I'll find it. It's right around here. Yard limits? No, I went too far again. Okay, well, we got the light on, so worst case scenario, I'll just bring an engine down here and we'll light it all up. There it is. I knew I went by it. So these are little boxes you will traditionally see besides railroads coming into... Is that a yellow light there? What we got? Oh, okay, so we got a train coming through. Perfect timing, actually. So what do we got here? We've got train Q127. So he's lit up. Now he's going to go by this AEI detector. In fact, he's going to go by two of them. So this detector here, I'm just going to pull it all up. This detector here, I don't know if I have the proper mileage or whatever, but anyways, doesn't matter. Let me turn all that off. Don't need that off. There we go. So we got a train coming through. So this is a really good example. Let me just check the. Let me just check my stream here, see if anybody's watching. Hey, Quincy! Honestly, you should have waited until Fitzgerald came out, because I'm sure things are going to change again. No, it don't matter. It can change. To put my server back up? I don't care. I'm having fun. But there's nothing. AEI. This isn't going to matter when Fitzgerald comes in or not. The AEI is only affecting the yards I mean, this isn't going to change. All of this will be the same. So you'll have AEI here. You'll have AEI at it's covered on all three locations coming in, and then it's basically for the yards. Let me start the program up. So yeah, here we go. So I'm going to start running it. So this is a a loop that goes through and checks everything, and you'll see what happens here. So every 15 seconds, it's going to read every single AEI detector. So the last trains to come through North Waycross, which is this detector right here, is Q124. Let me just make sure I got the right. So you see this at 10:19:23. I got it on a 15-second loop. Eventually, I'd put it to a 30. So 19:39. So you can see all the various trains. South Waycross, or sorry, West Waycross Q650. That ran a long time ago. So that's, and you can see these are updating. Some may change or whatever. The point is what it's going to do. And it's not doing anything yet besides reading the header. And what I mean by the header is, I'll give you a look in here. So AEI Notepad. Okay. So this is a traditional AEI file. I was using this. They're all the same. They basically have different data. So this is for grain train 308 that I loaded up. So what it does is it actually stops right here. It doesn't go into all the metadata. Now this metadata is the treasure trove. This is what will allow me to populate databases of every single yard. The good thing about Fitzgerald, it has no bearing. I can run Waycross right now. I can have it all the way I want it. Doesn't matter about Fitzgerald or not. It can come, it can go. It really doesn't matter. Fitzgerald's going to be a little while anyways, but even at that, doesn't matter. I want to get this in now because there'll be more work to do by the time Fitzgerald. I want to have this up and running before Fitzgerald comes, which I plan to have. I could have it coming up any time, really. Once I have it at least being able to dump the files and then deal with the data later, that'll be a start. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get it to dump into a database, if not spreadsheet for first, and then I can figure out a few other ways of getting the data in. But anyways, this is what it looks like. So these files, what it's doing is there's 9 detectors. It's reading the information as we come in. Let's ride this train, shall we? And we'll just use this as an example. Then I can chat with you guys and you'll get to see exactly what happens here. Now once again, like I said, it's only header data. It's practically the only thing it's telling me right now is this train is going over here. There he is. Okay. So this is train number Q127. Oh god, I hope it's not the same train. Yeah. Was that the same train as the other one? BNSF. There we go. Okay. So, Q124 was the last one. Okay, so we're going to put this guy over here. So we're looking at North Waycross and South Waycross. Okay. G308 was the last one to come through here, so whatever the hell this one is. I can't remember what train this is, but you'll see what happens as we're coming through. Oh, I'll turn the clock on for a second. There we go. Oh, I was gonna check my chat here before we get around the bend here. We got plenty of time before we get around the bend. It's the whole train's gotta come through. Check chat real quick. Hey, how's it going? The AEI stuff? Are you kidding me? Why would I not do this now? No. I do not regret this 1 ounce. Starting this right now. In fact, this is the best time to do it. Fitzgerald's still a ways away. The AEI software will be all done long before. This isn't going to be like the RTS software. This isn't as complicated, believe it or not. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be much more powerful, to be quite honest. So Waycross has north, the south, and the west. The west is the one that comes off the Thomasville. That basically doesn't have that much traffic, but it has a detector. So this is information. These are information primarily used by the various Yardmasters. So they're bubbles within. They're not interconnected with anything else. Holy shit, stop yelling. I don't know why they're yelling at well, they're not yelling at each other, they're just yapping. Okay. So we're still a little ways away here. Of course, I can throw them all up here. In case you want to see something else that might be going on. I don't know if there will be, but... So you've seen G308, he's gone through the entire system. I wish I had a, eventually I think what I'll do is I'll probably monitor the feed and tonnage because I want to get a unique ID. In theory, a turn could run out one way and come back the other, and then you wouldn't know if it was updated or not. So if you had the feed and tonnage, the chances are it's the feed tonnage and lead unit, let's say. That should be enough to determine whether or not it is a new entry or not. And what I mean by new entry is not a lot of shuttle train or something like that. So you've seen that that G308. He's gone through. He went through South Waycross. He was heading. It looks like he was heading south. Yeah. Because wherever he is, although he's got North Jacksonville 308 and then South Jacksonville. So it all depends upon, what tracks they were on, or because there's 2 tracks at North Jacksonville, there's 2 tracks at South Jacksonville. Now, of course, I'd be covering all that data. There was 2 passengers earlier, so some of this has changed as well. I'll see what else is out there. Just out of curiosity. He's already gone. So there's nothing lined up through there. Whoops, that should tell me everything right there. Yeah, there's nothing else lined up right now. But it is literally checking every time that clock updates. It's literally checking the file, pulling off the header, and the header is where it all begins as far as whether or not it is a whether it needs to check the rest of the file. If it's a different train altogether, then it's going to pull the entire record. Now, of course, it's not doing it yet. But you'll see as this train comes through, he's going to hit North Waycross. Coming up, once he comes around this corner. Now, he's not going to hit it right away. I shouldn't say that. His tail end has to clear first. And you'll see. I forget what train we are. 128, I think we are. Ah, shit. Okay, we're 127. That's right, we're southbound. Okay. Check the chat real quick. Oops, wrong one. Now, only if there's a way to make this work with auto. Yeah. Windows 10 had corrupted files, had to... Oh yeah, cool. Okay, so now we're coming up. Yeah. Now this is going to serve our purposes very nicely. Wish I could run the counter. I probably can. I don't know if I can or not. Nah. So there's the detector right there. So our train is Q127. So we're coming across a detector now. You're not going to see anything until the tail end clears. Now, a pass-through train, as far as Waycross, doesn't mean nothing, except what'll happen is on the system. So if yeah, you can see it's not updated yet. It won't update probably until another few minutes until its tail end has gone through there. So what'll happen is you'll get a say a customer, for example, has a load going across, and he wants to know where it is. What that would do is, in this case, say a Q124, yeah, and it would update all of them. It would update every one of them. So whatever the last location is would update for that particular car in the database. For our purposes, we're not going to keep every single car in a database that just keeps on growing, although we could, in theory. But I'd rather not. I mean, those databases, yeah, I mean, it can get pretty huge, although, yeah, I don't think I would bother doing that. So that's all that would say for this. This train, all these cars would just basically report, hey, the cars have gone. For our purposes, I think what's going to end up happening is when it enters the yard limits, it's going to add the train to Waycross. Of course, it's going to identify that train as a train that has nothing to do with Waycross, so it's not going to store it. So yeah, it's not going to actually store it. It's just going to report it. And once a train that comes into Waycross, then it's going to actually store it into the system, and the yard, it'll come into the yard database system. I don't think we're going to track every single car that comes into the system, because then they come out of the system and they could be anywhere. It's useless to us. Basically, once it comes past Waycross, and it could be onto the Fitzgerald somewhere. I don't know if there's going to be any AIs anywhere in the Fitzgerald. There might be one up at Manchester. I think it's Manchester. Maybe Fitzgerald. I don't know. So I have to keep an eye on the North Waycross item there. It's right now, it still says Q124. That was the last train that it has any information on. Now this is the first time I'm seeing this, but I have seen things change, so and it'll only update every time that time changes, so approximately every 15 seconds I have a counter running. Doesn't take up memory. It's the frames are fine. It'll gather more information, so do a little bit more processing, but it's basically running a counter, or a timer counter. Basically, it's not a timer, but it's basically counting to 100,000. Took it roughly 15 seconds. And this will be good software for single player or server owners right now. be able to track your entire power fleet, your well, yeah, basically the entire power fleet that's within the yard limits. So if you got power sitting out there, there it is. It's updated now. So it's now updated North Waycross at Q127. So once the train passes up here at South Waycross, it will then update South Waycross, and it will no longer say G308. So they'll both have Q127 until the next train comes through. But the idea is it's capturing that moment in time so that now Q127, all these cars are potentially part of the Waycross database. They won't be. I'm not gonna. I honestly don't think I'm gonna store a bunch of cars like intermodal types or passenger cars or engines or anything like that. I might log it for historical purposes, like when a train passes through, just to kind of give a maybe a log of like a chart, just for shits and giggles, for traffic analysis. And of course, that South Waycross, that'll do that in a few minutes, and then I don't know if we go into. I think we go into Jacksonville. Let me just take a look. Is this a yeah, I imagine this is a JDR train. Yeah. So that knocked that off a few minutes ago, right? So you can see the tail end here just came around the Y. So that's why it did that. And it'll do it for the other one. It checks all nine detectors. So if anything's going on anywhere else, it will do it, like Jacksonville, Taft, whatever. Coal train comes through, it's gonna bring it in. And I mean that's the good part about this too is let me just go into let's see here. Let me go into the pictures for a second. I just want to take a look and see. Want to go in and see the A line for a minute. I'm surprised there isn't one up Jessup, but it's technically in Jessup and Folkestone. They're technically Waycross's switching system, so they're all handled by Waycross, which means they don't handle it. So here's the AEI detector of the west side. You can see it on the depot maps here. So west of Dinsmore. If he's going inside the intermodal, then he pops up over here. And I guess he would come back up, or would he? No. So if he came out of Honeymoon Connection, I don't think there's an AEI that would detect him coming out. So this is mainly, it isn't really for intermodal traffic either, although I mean the fact that this detected it just indicates, okay, yeah, it's here now. I don't know. I'm surprised it doesn't have one right here as opposed to there, but that's just the way it is. It's more for the manifest, right? And then when you go for a little bit further, there it is. So anything, including the cars that are in these industries, I might add, that pops up over here. Or here would be part of that. Now, what's interesting is trains that come into here actually bypass. They would come into this yard. I would have to have a flag that only gathers information for manifest trains, because I'll tell you, if there's an intermodal train that comes through here, he's going to pop up into here. He's going to go out this one, and then we're going to never know he's out of the system. Once again, as far as manifests go, it's either going to be there or it's not. I don't know how to describe that any other way. Like a TDSI would technically be out of the system, but then he would come back into the system, I guess. If that makes sense. But then again, that's only for the automobile traffic anyways, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm not really too worried about TAF to begin with. Waycross is the big one. So, yeah, Waycross is the big one. As long as they get it under one end, it doesn't really matter to them, because if, say, for example, he left, it would pop up. It may not pop up if he went directly in from Florida or from, wherever else, but... But, where was I here? Let's see, how are we here? Not quite there yet. So yeah, this is where's the tail end? He's just passing it right now. I think he's just passing it. He's on the single track section, so I imagine he will. Yeah, there he goes. So just like that. And that's how the program works so far. So I'm excited about it. To be honest, it's I've had more growing pains trying to get to the code, but once you get certain codes and realize how what works with the syntax and what doesn't work, and kind of relearn the language a little bit and some of the tricks. It's just, repeat, rinse, repeat, set up subroutines, get the data, put them into arrays. The only challenge I see is the database side of things, and honestly, worst case scenario, I can always have the data fill up a spreadsheet, and I may do that at the beginning. I want to import functions. I want to be able to import, like, say, for example, we need to make a correction with the database, or we need to pull a certain number of cars that shouldn't be in there. I want to be able to do that. Yeah, so that'll just run all the time, and I don't think it takes a big hit. Let me just see here. Let me check the task manager out. See how bad of a hit it takes. It's taking 15% of the CU. Measly 4 megabytes. So yeah, it's certainly thinking processing wise, but this isn't graphic intensive or anything like that, so I think it's fine. CPU's up to 43%. The AEI, when the hump starts running, it we'll have to see how it runs, but I think it's fine. But No, I'm pretty excited about it. What time is it? 10:48. Check chat real quickly here. Hey, Bill. Aw, you missed the good stuff. I think you missed the good stuff, anyways. The routing in Waycross is kind of wonky. Yeah, it's okay. And how much is it going to cost? What, my software? Don't worry about it. I'll set up a donation thing. I'm not. I'm not going to charge for it. It's. I mean, it'll be powerful. I mean, I'm not. I'm not going to make money off. I'm not. I just don't want to do that. It's number one. It's not going to make. I don't think. I mean, yes, it's going to be used. Yes, I think some people, but honestly, we don't have a lot of operating minded people or people who really want to take advantage of it. It's more. It's going to make the server really cool, and if others use it, great. You know, if other servers use it, great. I got no problems with that. So, no, I think you did. We had a train going through here. This is our AEI system, Bill. So what this does is now this knocked it off one at a time. We were following a Q127. So every 15 seconds or so, we're gonna set it to 30 seconds. When a train passes through here, it scans all the train data, and then boom. So you got curious about something, so I decided to look at how the AEI reader works. It works in tandem with positive train control, yeah. Because I'm looking at the the MFD. Oh yeah, yep, yeah. It just fills up their databases, so they know they. I'm just trying to think as far as positive train control. So it actually gives you the train number, or just it would give you the train number and the car numbers, and I'm just trying to figure out how that would work with positive train control, except other than trying to continuously update your own consist on the MFD. That'd be interesting. Hmm, that's cool. Yeah, because otherwise it usually wouldn't have worked. Nor I mean, the way it used to work is it would just send the data directly. It wouldn't even interface the train. It would read the tags off the trains, the engines, the cars. I remember a time where back before 9/11, and this AEI was still around. I don't know. It's been around for, I don't know how long AEI has been around. Ever since they've had electronic tags, really, which is a long time. Probably, I don't know if it would be older than me, but probably. Um, and I used to be able to get, I don't know if it wasn't a train number, but I was able to call up certain engines and know whereabouts a train was by simply calling up Actually, you could do it on the web in the beginning. They used to have a thing where you could call up a bunch of different symbols. That included the engine numbers. So if you did a whole string of a whole whack of engines, you would see in a nutshell where every friggin' train was in the CN system. Of course, they eliminated all that in 9/11, but it was interesting. I enjoyed it. Back before then, I mean, there was a lot more information freely available. So. Oh, I imagine it. I mean, I think positive train control, if it works right. Obviously, it's good to have. I think. I mean, I'm totally. I saw. I think I posted on my page or on the Discord. I posted a. It was a guy who works with one of the railroads, BNSF or whatever, Yardmaster or former Yardmaster or something like that, and he was talking about this whole how the engines are just basically sitting out there, and the nothing's moving with this because the trains are too freaking big. I'm like, and that's all stupid. Whatever the hell they call that new shit. I ain't modeling that shit. Not a chance. I'll stick in the good old days of 2007. Yeah, they look like a they used to have it used to be like a color thing. I think they changed. I think they're really they're very small now. But they used to read a color barcode type thing, but now they're really small. They're kind of like the chip cards of your credit cards. So they may be pretty small, but you might have a hard time finding them. Oh yeah, PSR, yes, that crap. Pretty shitty railroading. Yep. But any other trains coming through that we can check out while that's updating? Probably not, huh? Oh, yeah, he's Callahan, so he's not even away. Of course, there's no trains when you wanna have something going on. Taft's quiet, and well, there's another train coming, but he's gonna be a bit. What's this guy, anyways? Okay, so he's a coal train. Yeah, we'll go hop on him. I'll let you see it one more time, Bill. Just in case you missed what happens. Looks like all the action's in Waycross as far as these babies go. We'll do it one more time. Ah, crap. Did I get in there? Oh, I did. Alright. So I'm on an N train of some sort. Gotta meet with the train that that Q127 that's heading up to the siding to meet us. Nothing's changed. Like West Waycross, that was back in April, I think. April or no, the end of May. End of May was the Q650. It was the last time I had a train that I actually ran down there or was run down there. Not that much traffic that goes down there. Obviously, it would be a couple trains a day, if we were running a full schedules for the manifest, but. So once again, Bill, what you're seeing is that every 15 seconds or so, that clock. So that's the RTS software. That's the output screen. That's showing up right there. So the last read was at 10:59:35, and it'll do it again any second. There, 51. So every 15 seconds or so, it basically queries every AEI detector in the HRS Southeast region. And if they add more and thing, that'll be easy to add. Yeah, it'll be child's play to put it in there. In fact, I could have Taft and Jacksonville and really do nothing with it. It really wouldn't matter. So that's Q127. So we follow him coming through Waycross. And this is the last sighting before Waycross now. I need to actually get into the watching of the trains because I've done a lot of program plus doing a little bit of debugging work. I haven't done too much though. So that Q127 would either hit North Jacksonville 1 or North Jacksonville 2. So Main 1 or Main 2 before it got into before it actually got into the Jacksonville terminal. But the whole point of this is so that we have much more automation when it comes to the yard management. Because this basically the software is called RTS Yardmaster. It's been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. In fact, I was originally going to do it before Run8. I was going to do it with or without Run8 actually, at one time. And this was during the time waiting for version 3 and version 2 no longer met my needs. Version 3 totally meets or exceeds my needs. So no problem there. But and is it perfect? No, it doesn't have to be perfect. There'll always be things that you think of that could be better and all this other crap, and I'll go back to the chat once this train gets out of the siding here. Probably had this at 11:30. I was up late last night, so I was up late last night. I was up early this morning, so. Yeah, I still have to work on the K trains. I got to work on the K trains. I got to work on basically the K trains. I mean, there's some. I know there's some unit tank trains that have to get put into play. I'm hoping to have a database this weekend to get the supply train. Now, the worst, I shouldn't say, it's not going to matter, actually. I shouldn't say that, because there's still at least one local that has to be run out of Waycross. So I left those cars there at least. Um, but I'm going to find a way to import train files as well. I assume he's got a signal. Got a yellow signal? Really? No, that's not. I'm gonna say it looks like a yellow signal to me. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Oh no, that's a there's the freaking branches or the stuff is overgrown. Holy crap! I'm looking at this thing. There's the green light hanging behind the trees there. Okay, let me go into the chat for a bit here. Actually, I'll check the dispatch board one more time. I don't think anything else new has come in. So yeah, he's coming up to South Waycross, and then I don't think there's nothing new. Is there anything else coming up? Not really. So we'll watch this one come through. But anyways, let me go through chat for a second here. I have to go through chat this way, guys, tonight, because like I said, I don't have it all hooked up the way I want to yet. Yeah, something you just don't know that's like even there, right? You don't know you kind of it's just part of the technology. It's amazing too. It's like some of the technology of the hell's that? Oh, okay, Abe's name. Some of the technology that goes in the freaking grade crossings is amazing. It used to be, I mean, it was always pretty cool. I mean, well ahead of its time when it first came out, but then it became just traditional electronics. I'll finish that thought in a second. I'll probably work on more code in the morning, and maybe test on a supply train. We'll see. I think the next step is going to be to determine what's new and updated, basically. Then once it's in the database, then so it would arrive at so let's say, for example, obviously these trains, like the like anything that's not a manifest has really no bearing on it has no bearing on a Yardmaster's functions. So this is for Yardmasters. And what that does is, say for example, right now we go into the sheets and we have to manually update every bowl track. What this would do, hold on. So what this would do is, like, I can do it a few ways actually. I could only, I forget what Q650 is. Oh, never mind. I had a brain fart. I saw Q650. What the hell's that? Never mind. The one that hasn't been here in a month. But so something similar to that. So a manifest train, like a 300 series or whatever. I don't even think necessarily I would bother with the auto trains so much. There are some unit trains and a few other things, but so the trains come in and they have so much cars for Waycross, and they have tags which are also included in the AEI data. So suddenly what was manually, not only what was manually, but basically what cars are in your receiving yard. So you now know what, as Yardmaster, what can hump or what needs to be trimmed. You can plan everything out from that. What needs to be built, what's still to come out, what has to go out, blah blah blah. And then once you take those and you basically, there'll be commands with this as well. So once Waycross issues a command to release a train, then it's available to hump. And then once it's humped, it has to be recorded as such. So all these things, work its way through. Now, I'm not too sure as far as how much would be working its way through, or if it's, I'm going to do a little at a time each day type thing. Kind of, manage the yard on a daily basis to give a plan as to what trains can be humped, what needs to be done basically, and issue orders that way, like a Yardmaster would. So it'll be kind of neat. But there'll be procedures for that, and it'll make it much more. It'll be much more task oriented for people who are looking for certain tasks to do and are afraid, to mess up the yard or whatever. Whereas they have tasks, and it's like, here's what you can hump, and here's what you can't hump because you're going to overfill the bowl, let's say. So that kind of thing. See, now there's a K850 up at Bolin. Which will probably, I would imagine, it might meet us. Might sit there too. We might already have a light through there. But we're gonna get through the south end. In fact, I'll take a look here. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get that. Now I think I've seen a cornfield down here before. So that's an interesting one that would happen, because normally I would delete the trains that are closest to it, but it's going to be one of those things like, what do I want to let go first? Okay, so he's coming up to South Waycross now. I'll take a look at the chat for a second. Nothing much happening. So here's the AEI right now. We're just passing over it. Now, of course, that was the AEI detector. Just so this is the yard limits now. Once the entire train has passed South Waycross, where it says South Waycross Q127 will update. After this little brief second demonstration, I'm going to bed. So we got a fair amount accomplished today, so that's good. I want to get a nice early start. I wish I was doing more with the actual route itself, but I mean, the good part is we know the server's working now. So I just have to. By the way, I don't know if you're still here, Quincy, but the The static IP didn't hold. We had an error earlier on. I had a hard time with. It was kind of weird because I was having a hard time. There's bandwidth issues upstairs because they got YouTube on the TV and all this other crap. So it takes a ton of bandwidth apparently, and I think it goes through at a very high rate. So, but anyways, we had an error once where it said the same IP was being used by another device, which I thought was very strange. And then I realized what had happened. Because I had the router set to always use the same IP, it tried doing it. And it wasn't too happy about it. So it actually reset itself to a range, and so my IP had changed like to .6 or something like that. So I ended up having to I don't reboot my computer that often, so I just have to keep my eye on it. And unfortunately, too, I can't set multiple IPs like .1, like, or it's not .1 obviously, but .3, .4, .5, all that other stuff. There's NO79, by the way, South Waycross. So he's passed through right here, which means the AEI data is in a file that's available. And the RTS system, what this is, would be able to process it if it needed it for something. The one it needs it the most for, again, are manifests going in and out of the yards. Doesn't really need it for this shit. In real life, as I was saying before, the AEI data is actually useful for customers to know where their cars are, or power, crews or power dispatchers to know where the power is, and stuff like that. But so it's going to be a nice little tool. Looking forward to it. I'm glad I'm finally got it going. So where are we at here? I was gonna check chat, wasn't I? Nope, nothing going on. I still got a lot of people, so that's good. But it'll do it to the next one as well. Yeah, so he's lit through the south Y. He'll do the same thing to this. I'm not gonna hang around just to see that. But that NO79 will replace this one. So right now, currently, what this is saying is the current file, the last train that passed these, has all the train data for those particular trains. We just updated South Waycross with our train data. And right up here, these things are right here. That's the AEI. So that's North Waycross. And once the entire train goes by, it also will update that milepost to coincide with this. So then we'll have two file locations. They'll be identical, other than the header of where it's at, but in the file name also indicates where it's at. But But anyways, I'm going to kill this program because it's not really doing anything right now, and I mean, it's working. Oh, control break. There we go. Yep. Okay, guys. I think I'm going to get ready to bail. Get myself a nice, deserving sleep. And then I will be back tomorrow. Well, I'm going to be back tomorrow morning, you know, whenever I get up after a reasonable amount of sleep or whatever. And of course, as I showed earlier, which I guess I can't show anywhere because I'm on the wrong side, but this yard is totally empty right now, other than some I've got what the hell have I got? I got a few units here and there, but nothing major. Just enough that I can manually enter into the database to say what I have, but the bowls are empty. Everything else is a ghost town in here until things start filling up. Once things start filling up, if one train just happens to come in overnight, we haven't had a train all day, which is amazing. But yet the other day we were getting all kinds. So, but once the trains start coming in, then I mean, the beautiful thing about it is when a train comes in, I can then specify what track it's on, so I can assign the train to a particular track, because really I don't know what train track it's going to assign itself to. It's going to auto is going to decide that. But what we'll have is a new procedure where once trains enter these yards, they're not going to be permitted to be humped. They're going to have to hold and wait for instructions. And once the instructions, you know, pass through and they progress and everything, then other things can happen. But something like that. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but we'll figure it out. So I do want to have it so that it's easy to multitask and do a lot at once. So you'd be able to hump while you're able to trim type thing. But perhaps I'll have some type of advanced planning system in place so that you know, we know what's coming up for you know, the first hump, and you know, when the first round of trims have to take place, and then what'll happen after that. So you know, have kind of a workflow that way. But I don't know how that'll be, you know, dealing with stats and all that other stuff. So, but a lot of that could just go right into the Google Sheets too. But we'll figure out a way. At least that part's going to be automated, because what we have right now, I said I was going taken off, but I'll show you what we have right now. This is the manual part that's going to be, oh, that's bright. The manual part that we currently do for this inside the matrix is we populate all these. Every time we want to build a train, we populate every ton and every foot. Well, that's going to be auto generated based on the tag that's currently on those trains. And then decisions can be made as far as, you know, what cars go where, and, you know, what gets trimmed, what gets built, all that other stuff. What gets released as well. So there's a lot of there's a lot of interesting stuff that I think is going to go into all that. I may do a schematic. I was thinking about doing it. I may or may not. I think I'm going to stick to just like a text-based system and basically play out a scenario of commands. Because once you have the data, once you have the data and you're dealing with it, it's just a matter of executing. What operations you want to do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. You can outline a whole day or a whole routine of things coming up based on first in, first out type thing. So I think that's going to be cool. And then trains will actually be able to move, and we'll be able to get trains out of the yard, and we'll know our power requirements, stuff like that, or if we need to add extra power to get it out of the yard, even if it means a little bit of extra HPT, that's fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I really am. Anyways, I should know. Later, Biller. We'll see you later, man. But that's all for now. And yeah, I might be back. I might have another update later tomorrow. At some point tomorrow night, sometime, and show you how it's progressed. And we'll follow some other things around, and I'll show you, give you some ideas. Hopefully, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Anyways, that's all for now, guys. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later. See ya.